before we start building triggers, there are two last things we need to cover. And the first one may confuse even experienced storyline users. The wording in the trigger wizard doesn't always match the wording in the trigger panel, even though you'd expect them to. As you can see in this example, the trigger panel says, when the user selects or swipes next, jump to slide next slide. But in the trigger wizard, that same action reads, jump to slide next slide when the user selects or swipes next. Those sound almost identical, but depending on the action you're creating, the phrasing may change, and that difference can create the confusion. For example, imagine you have 5 items on the slide that each change from their normal state to hidden. Once all 5 are hidden, you want Storyline to automatically advance to the next slide. In the trigger panel, you'll see those 5 items grouped together as object triggers, each reading, when the state of all rectangles is hidden, jump to slide next slide. But in the trigger wizard, the statement looks a little different. Jump to slide next slide when the state of rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3, rectangle 4, rectangle 5, and rectangle 6 is hidden. Same logic, just a slightly different order of wording. The second thing to remember is that triggers can live in 3 different places: slide triggers, object triggers, and player triggers. Slide triggers are assigned to the slide itself. These often work with the slide's timeline. For example, jump to next slide when the timeline ends. Object triggers are connected to a specific item on the slide, like the example we just discussed, where all the rectangles had to be hidden before moving forward. Finally, player triggers are tied to Storyline's built-in player controls, such as the next, previous, and submit buttons that are already part of the interface.